everybody. Today would have been the 2020 London Diamond League meeting here in my home country. Now, it would be great if you could be there watching me and so many others compete, but instead, like so many of you around the world, I am at home in the fight against coronavirus. So we might not be able to be in London, but we have put together some highlights of the very best moments of the London Diamond League over the years. So sit back, relax, and let us bring London to you for the virtual Wanda Diamond League. Enjoy, and I hope to see you very soon.
Thank you, Jasmine, and yes, welcome to this Wanda Diamond League Callroom London special, as well as highlights from the past few editions of the anniversary games from the British capital. We'll have conversations with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Laura Muir and Akani Simbine. But let's begin with some highlights and watch the clock for this one. It's Kenny Harrison's world record in the 100-metre hurdles.
Another really good start from Kenny Harrison, fourth from left. She's already in the lead. Talai's going well, third from right there. Oh, there's been a fall there. I think it was Stowers. But look at Kenny Harrison storming away with this, and look at the margin of victory. Watch the clock. 12:58 there for Kenny Harrison. Well, that was strange. The clock seemed to run on and on long after she'd gone through the line. I'd rather fancy it was quicker. 12:20, and the world record has gone. The trackside clock shows 12:20. And I think she's broken the world record. Kenny Harrison has done it. The most spectacular consolation for failing to make the US Olympic team in Rio. Eugene 2 weeks ago was a massive, massive disappointment for Kenny Harrison, and she's just seen the news, and the world record has gone. 12.20 replaces the figures of Bulgaria's Jordanka Donkova from 1988, 12.21. Stuart Story, you were a high hurdler. I know you'll appreciate this. She's taken 1/100th of a second off the world record, and just checking the wind speed there, plus 0.3. She hardly got any help from the stadium breeze, but the crowd roared her home.
That was sensational. For those of you that look to hurdling, you won't see any better than that. Technically superb. I said of that in Eugene, that was the best it gets. Well, tonight it was even better than that. A sensational, sensational run. It looked quicker than 12:58. She must have dipped under the beam. It was absolutely superb. 12:20, Donkova's record from 88, thank goodness, is gone. No problem this time. Edwards away and Bolt now steaming into the bend, and it's between those two at the moment. Jamili going well, and on the outside Horteland Rodrigo going well. Here comes Usain Bolt into the straight, and look on the inside of Danny Talbot going well, but Bolt is away from this field and he's being chased by Edward now. Bolt, Edward, Jamili and Horteland to 19.90. Job done, and once again this man proves that at the right time, in the right place, he can win races. He beat athletes in that race that are substantial in every sense of the word. At 19.89, a man who's had a hamstring problem, he's got so few races under his belt now. To come here to take on the rest of the world, then that is absolutely superb. Edward 20.04, Jamili 20.07, and the European champion 20.18. But this man rules supreme.
So Christian Taylor then, sixth and final round for the Olympic champion. Big final phase, monstrous final phase. We saw his fourth round effort, that was 17.43. He opened with 17.18, then he had a couple of no jumps. 17.43 in the fourth round, almost bounding out to 17.5. But that, the closing effort from Taylor, well, it's huge. It's way beyond 17.5, certainly. Good first phase, fabulous second phase, and that final phase, I mean, it's just gravity defying. He hangs in the air for so long. Lovely rhythm to the three phases there as well. In control, look at that, so little signs of strain on the face. relaxed and yet giving 100%. The twice world champion then, the Olympic champion, the second longest jumper in history, 17.78, longest jump in the world this year, rounding into form with perfect timing.
Opener 65, then a couple of 65s, and then a 66 in round 4. Now, sixth and final round for the world record holder. Hits that one really, really hard. Good angle of attack. And that's around 68 meters for Barbara Spatakova, and she likes it. She knows it's good. The meeting record, well, that's a 66.74 by Oberkfall, or it was, and that has been beaten by Kolak this afternoon, but I think Spatakova's gone farther. Kolak, the Olympic champion from Croatia, threw 67.83 in round 3, but I think Spatakova has done her there. That is a fabulous 6-round effort from Barbara Spatakova. 68 meters, 26. It is a new meeting record by about 1.5 meters, and not too far shy of 70 meters. And at the age, Barbara Spatakova of 36, the twice Olympic champion, is returning to something close to her best.
Away they go, and it'll bring back lots of happy memories, I'm sure, for Kirani James, who apparently is in very good form, and already he's eating into Matt Hudson-Smith down the back straight. A really good storming first 150 meters. There he goes, Kirani James, such a talent, 25 years old now, and is this starting to feel very familiar for Kirani James? Samba to the right of picture, the hurdler, also going well, as is Haroon in the center of picture, the Qatari. Two Qataris though, all wearing black, along with Kirani James. What has he got left in the last 100 meters here? Also going well is Allen in the orange. Kirani James looking to tie up a little bit, but coming through Haroon very nicely indeed. There he goes, the Qatari from lane 4, and he gets it in 44.07. A wonderful run, timed his run to perfection, and Haroon, who's been doing the business on the flat all year long on the Diamond League circuit, upsets Kirani James' return to action, gets past Samba the hurdler, and it's Abdullah Haroon in 44.07. It's a national record, and these two Qataris, be it on the flat or over the hurdles, are taking the 400-meter distance by storm.
So round 4 then for Malaika Mihambo. She has the lead of that big second round jump, bookended by a couple of no jumps. Here we go, round 4, 6.96 so far. Oh, that's massive. That is huge from Mihambo. The European champion is in very, very fine form indeed. Born in the glorious city of Heidelberg. Her dad from Zanzibar, her mum from Germany. 7 meters last year in Rome, and 7 meters here today. 7.02 there for Mihambo.
7.02, she's gone past 7 meters.
So back to this discus competition, which is starting to bubble nicely here. Daniel Stoll from Sweden in a real battle again with Fredrik Dakers, and that's getting better and better. Well, that's another statement from the big man, who threw 4 throws over 70 meters recently at a low-key meeting in Sweden, including 71.86. It's a world lead, taking over from Dakers, who threw that 70.78 in Rabat that I mentioned earlier on. But that's getting out towards 70 meters now, the midpoint of this 6-round competition. Women's 100 meters hurdles. Where they go first time. Good start from Nia Ali. Also going well is Danielle Williams. Danielle Williams coming through again, and we've got a faller there in lane 2. McReynolds has gone, but Danielle Williams takes closer order, and she comes through in 12.30. Goodness me, quicker and quicker. And it was on this track, remember, that Kenny Harrison set the world record, 12.28, a couple of years years ago, and that at 12:30 is just outside the world record. That was very, very special indeed. 12:41 in the heat, and Danielle Williams, you feel, with an extra little message to the Jamaican selectors there. 12:32. It's come up as the fastest in the world this year, bettering the 12:40 of early this year. 12:40 from Janique Brown from Jamaica. Second time of asking, women's 100 metres. This time away safely. Fraser-Pryce gets off really well. So does Asher Smith. Also going well is IE in lane 2. But here comes Fraser-Pryce. It's no contest. Asher Smith in pursuit, but Fraser-Pryce gets the line. Let's look at the time. 10:77, the winning time. It's outside of a world lead time of 10:73, but Fraser-Pryce once again rolling back the years. 32 years old. Won the Olympic title in this stadium in 2012. It's as if she's never been away. So much has happened since then. It's been rounded up 10:78. Asher Smith coming through to get the second place in 10:92. That's also excellent consistent running from her. 10:91 she ran in the heat earlier this afternoon. Talu came through to take third, and Okukbari, who continues to impress, you know, coming through to take fourth in 11:04.
The woman we just saw in action needs little introduction to the London crowd. She successfully defended her Olympic 100-metre title in the British capital in 2012, and she's enjoyed some stunning runs since and before then. As she explains to me, one of her favourite memories came in 2018 when she returned from motherhood back to the Diamond League with a win.
The thing that London always does, both at Crystal Palace and more recently at the Olympic Stadium, is stage the sprints over heats in a final. Do you think does that suit you?
Yeah, I actually do love it. I've always said that I run really well. I run so much better when I run rounds. You know, I'm even in practice, like my best runs never come from the first ones. So you find that I have to run 2, you know, time trials or stuff like that to get the best one. Because for some strange reason, I don't warm up very well for the first run. But, you know, for me, I've always said throughout the years, I enjoy competing in the London Diamond League because of that fact. You know, you get to run a heat, you get to, you know, shake the cobwebs out and, you know, turn on the burners for the finals. And I love it. And it mimics so much, you know, the championship that you will be going into in another couple of weeks. And, you know, the London Diamond League is normally very close to the championship. So it's very strategic and lines up well with, you know, your plans going into a championship.
From a, not necessarily from a physical, but from a mental perspective, do you think it's useful as well? Are you more relaxed the second time round?
Mentally, not necessarily. You're not necessarily more relaxed, but it's almost like you're in championship mode, and your body knows when you're in championship mode. So I think that's the advantage for me. You know, I go into the heats, I know that, okay, I need to qualify. So there's a somewhat sort of a relaxed mode and focused on the execution and making sure that, you know, I make the finals. If it's top 2 or top 3, I just want to make sure that I'm in the top 3 or top 2. And then you get to the finals where it's a little bit more nerve-wracking because, you know, the heats or the semifinals are normally seeded. So you kind of know what to expect. You kind of know that, okay, the top 3 or top 4 may come from here, but you can't give up anything. And then going into the finals, you're a little bit more nerve-wracking, but experience will teach you that everybody's nervous. So you just have to make sure that you get it right.
One race I really wanted, or one performance I really wanted to ask you about was in 2018. When you arrived in London, I can remember at the press conference, you had your baby. For this Diamond League race after coming back from giving birth, and you won. Was it surreal to be back on the circuit?
Man, listen, I was so, and I must shout out London for that because, you know, it's hard mentally because coming off 2016, then having my son, and then coming back, you know, not a lot of persons will have confidence in who you are, you know, and what you did before. So, getting that opportunity to come to London, and it was such a hype around it, and I felt good, to know that, hey, they're still looking out for what I can produce and what I can give. So I was really excited about that. And then, just coming there, it brought back so many memories. London has definitely been one of the places that I race really well. I run well, I compete well, I run very good times, and I was definitely looking forward to running, sub 11, and London did not disappoint at all.
Does it feel different to get that win? Does it put athletics, track and field in context somewhat?
Yeah, it definitely felt very different, when I got that win, because here I was a couple of months before questioning if I would be able to get back to, running sub 11s and, running at my best, having a son, turning 31, stuff like that. So it definitely put things in perspective that time is just time. You just have to focus on the things that you have in the present and do well at those things, and know that time will take care of everything else. You lose sleep. Don't try losing sleep, and energy focusing on things that's so far ahead that you can't control. And I think that's what it taught me, because I spent a lot of my time not watching any track while I was pregnant, because I didn't want to watch any track and field because I missed it, and it was just so crazy. And then, looking back, crossing that line and getting that win and running 10-9, I was like, okay, I had nothing to worry about too much, in the last couple of months. I was worked up wondering if I could, or if it could happen, and here I am crossing the line and running sub 11. So it definitely put things in perspective that you just have to continue to work, at the goals that you have for yourself, and the time will take care of itself.
And then you were back in London last year in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Again, more rounds. Another incredible performance, much more dominant, I have to say, and really, really fast as well. I think it was a 10-7 time. And you beat Dina Asher-Smith, the home favourite. What was that like?
Well, it is not just to beat one person, so let's put that out there. But for me, it was so incredible, It just speaks to, how committed and how much you have to persevere and how much you have to win the battle in the mind before you can ever win it on the track, And for me, after 2018 was a big thing for me, because I knew what I could have done with the limited training that I had at the time. And I never started lifting weights on my back until about January, because I ended up having my son via emergency C-section. So it was definitely a different year in terms of my training. And with the limited amount of training and the setback that I had with my training and being able to run the 10-9, I knew that going into 2019, had I, stay committed to every single task and not waver in my faith and just trust the process, I knew that 2019 would be an incredible year because of 2019. That 10-9 did absolutely, it did amazing things for me mentally, and definitely put things in perspective. So coming to the London Diamond League in 2019 and coming away with the win and running the 10-7, I was just stoked. I was really, really excited about that. And I was back at my best, and it felt good.
Given your history in London and obviously your incredible career, not just in London, you're always going to receive a warm welcome. But do you feel extra love in London because there is such a large Jamaican community?
Yeah, there's definitely a large Jamaican community in London, so you definitely feel that love. But I must say that I feel the love from a lot of the other fans that are from all over the world, because as you know, I must say that a lot of my 10-7s that I have run in my career, a lot of them came in London. So a lot of persons would have been able to come to these championships, over and over. So you build a certain amount of, this fan base that's so, happy to see you. And, having the Jamaicans there who come out to see us compete is just extra motivation, because they're not at home and a lot of them don't get the opportunity to see us compete as much. So you definitely want to use that opportunity to put on a show. And for me, having that excitement, and it's not just the excitement, it's having a crowd that knows the sport. It's not enough that person come and sit and watch and go, oh, they know the sport. They know who you are. They know who that person is. They're excited about the times. They know what the times mean. So it definitely adds to the experience coming to London.
What a fantastic ambassador for the sport Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is, and thank you to her for joining us on the show. A reminder that later we'll have chats with Laura Muir and Akani Simbine, but before those, let's continue with the highlights and the mile meeting record for Sifan Hassan.
The women's mile, going for something under 4:20, and 4:17 the target for Laura Muir as they get away. Now, the pace, well, they've asked for 64 seconds at 400, 2:09 at 800, 2:41 at 1,000. That will put them on schedule for something around 4:17, 4:18. And Laura Muir loves to run a hard, fast final lap, but so capable of doing that are several others in this field. Obiri, I think her strength might come to the fore, the 5,000 metre world champion for Kenya. Martinez has gone off very, very quickly at the pace I'm sure that was expected of her. And in second place, Segai likes to front run as well. She's been in good form. 3:59 in Madrid a couple of weeks back, 3:59 in Lausanne in her last two races. Laura Muir in third place, striding along comfortably. Who's recently completed her veterinary studies. She is a qualified vet now in third place, although she can ease back on the throttle in terms of the academic work for this next year or two if she chooses to. Obiri in fourth. Hassan going very hard with 200 metres to run, and she might have broken Obiri. Obiri, the Kenyan, in second place, has got some work to do, and the others sort of stuck behind her, certainly Segai. But this is Sifan Hassan of the Netherlands, the World Championship bronze medalist last year at 5,000 metres. Bronze medalist, in fact, the year before that, 2 years before that, at 1,500 metres, 10 metres, 12 metres the lead. Watch the clock. This is going to be mighty fast from Sifan Hassan. The world record, remember, is 4:12. It's going to be very tight come the line. No world record, but a desperately quick time from Hassan. Second, I think, was coming through, was Segai. Third, Obiri. Fourth, Simpson. And it wasn't to be for Laura Muir. Yet again, it's back to the drawing board for the Briton. She couldn't find the key to her best form on this occasion. That hard training in St. Moritz, maybe, Chris, has taken its toll. That's a very, very clear and common scenario. You go away training, the training is fantastic, you race, and guess what? You're very tired from all that good training. Well, an unusually long hold there for a middle distance race. You can see the men tensing up there in the set position, or on their marks position, but away they go. Amos in that green vest, easy to spot. Fifth in the World Championships last year. He began to return to his form after injury problems for a couple of years prior to that. And Bram Sommer hits the front here now. Through 200 metres in a very crisp, well, it was low 24s, I reckon Sommer had to run to get there. And Kinyamal, that is, oh no, it's Correa actually in second place, and it is quick, there's no doubt about that. So Eric Sawinski in third. He loves to go out hard. His perfect distance, Sawinski, is probably 600 metres, Chris, but they've gone off very quickly indeed, and the field stretched out over about 15 metres at the moment with Kajot right at the back.
Well, I'm keeping a particular eye on Correa here, because he stepped down to 400 metres since the beginning of the season. A lot of people thought he'd gone away, and looking at some of the message boards over the last 48 hours, a lot of people tipping Correa to do some damage here.
Correa changes gear again, kicks hard at the ground of the bend, comes round into the straight as Correa, and he's beginning to get away now. Kinyamal, gritted teeth, can't go with him, neither can Amos, Murphy can't either, and look at this from Correa, the head bobbing backwards and forwards, 7 metres, 8 metres the lead, watch the clock, this is quick, 1:42.05, fabulous win there from Correa. That 400 metre racing, the training, the speed work in those legs, pays dividends indeed. He's been away from 800 metre running a little while, won the Kenyan national title over 444.2, and that is special. 1:42.05, the quickest time in the world this year. Indeed, it makes him the 6th fastest man in history. Boy, oh boy, the race of the weekend, surely.
from Emmanuel Kitkirui Correa. Didn't he take them to the cleaners, and he did so much of the work too. Built it up nicely to an extraordinary pace around that second bend, that last bend I should say, and he's beaten some big names there, but I'm sure that the place times are quick as well.
Well, Sebastian Coe, watching on there, will be absolutely full of amazement and admiration there. 1:42.05. 6 years ago, of course, we saw David Rudisha produce something special in this very stadium. Absolutely outstanding. And Correa, well, look at the head bobbing. Look at him go. Pulling away 6, 7, 8 meters. Absolutely lights out stuff. And the others left trailing in his wake. And all the portents, Tim, before this race were about Correa having got that sharpness from the 400 meters. A lot of people thought he'd gone away, got a little bit AWOL, but he's back. And Correa producing something very special.
Where they go now. Will the pacemaker Jenny Meadows take them out at a good healthy clip here? They need around 64, 65 seconds per quarter mile.
Yeah, they're looking for, she's been asked for 2:08, 2:09, but for Laura Muir, I mean, she's looking at that record from Zola Budd, isn't she? The British record, the former South African, the barefoot runner, 4:17.57, that British record, which is quite formidable.
I thought Muir marked it incredibly well over the last 200 metres over 800. What can she do here in London with O'Beary still dogging her tail? Chebet in third place, Simpson in fourth. There was some great running going on behind, so they come into the straight now, and O'Beary kicks hard off the bend, and Muir needs to stay with the Kenyan, but she's not going to be able to, because that is a decisive acceleration from Helen O'Beary. What's the clock? This is going to be quick. This is going to be very quick from Helen O'Beary. The world record is 4:12. It's going to be just outside that, but my word, 4:16.57 in a real race there. That is what Nzebi Dababa ran in a world record attempt a few days ago. Well, Mo Farah, who has been in lovely form this year, beat just about everybody that matters in the Prefontaine 5,000 metres. He goes straight to the back, of course, Mo Farah, as he so often does. He's no great rush to get to the front. That's where you need to be at the other end of the race. But he won the 5,000 at Prefontaine at the end of May, looking superb, beating the very best of East Africa. This, remember, is his last track season. This will not be his last race in this stadium. He'll be back here for the double at the World Championships in 3 or 4 weeks' time. But his last ever track 3,000. Tucked in there behind the Olympic champion Mo Farah, 5,000 and 10,000. A grimace from Mikal. Butchart too, grimacing hard in third place, but there's daylight between this leading pair and the rest of the field as Farah now glances over his shoulder, kicks into the straight and gets that metre, which becomes 2, 3, 4 metres for Mo Farah yet again. His last ever 3,000 metres on an outdoor track ends with a win for Mo Farah in 7:35.16. His final circuit 55.3. Most of that hard running coming in the last 200 metres.
But this really all about Laura Muir. And she said in the press conference yesterday she's got plans A, B, C and D. She's got 4 different ways of running this race according to how the race unfolds. The women's 1,500 metres. 3 3/4 laps of the track. And they've asked for 64-second pace per lap. And we saw that great race between Laura Muir and Faith Kipyegon, the Olympic and world champion in Stanford a few weeks ago, when Laura Muir went with 6:50 to go and was still out sprinted by Faith Kipyegon, who was just coming back from maternity leave. Remember, she hadn't raced for almost 2 years. So Laura Muir wouldn't have expected that. It was quite a late withdrawal, actually. And, well, a Rafi just going to the front. It's Seagrave, Anna Seagrave, who is doing the pacemaking duties, and a Rafi just taking closer order, and Laura Muir just sitting on the shoulder there as they come round in front of us for the first time. slightly disappointed that Faith Kipyegon isn't taking part today. Tsegai as well would have been a real test, but Klosterhalfen, she hasn't shaken her off just yet, but she's putting away here, coming on with 120 to go, and that trademark rocking style, Laura Muir gritting her teeth, and now I feel the resistance has gone, Klosterhalfen has gone, and she's been reeled in now by Nanyondo as well, but Laura Muir, brilliant again. Laura Muir coming home. The gap, 5, 6, 7, 8 metres. The winning time, 3:58.25. She said she felt she was in 3:56 type shape, maybe even PB shape. But today it wasn't that sort of race. 3:58 will do. It's a win. But I wonder if she's ruining the chance to get her teeth stuck into the likes of Faith Kipyegon and Gurov Tsegai. But you can only beat the opposition in front of you, and she's done exactly that. 3:58.25, the winning time.
Well, we've just seen evidence of Laura Muir's pedigree in the 1500 metres on the Wanda Diamond League circuit in recent years. But as she explains to me, one of her first notable wins came in the London Stadium in 2016 when she broke the long-standing British record that used to belong to Kelly Holmes. She explains more.
So, Laura, when I looked through your competition record, that performance in 2016 in London was actually your only second ever race in the Olympic Stadium. I think you'd raced there in 2015. Did you feel like it was an opportunity to make your name in front of the British crowd on that night?
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one because I remember going in feeling that, I knew I was in really, really good shape. And the crowd was amazing, and I think I was the second last event. I think Usain was running after me. So it was like, really kind of crazy atmosphere out there. And I remember beforehand, they took me and Usain on the little cars like around the track. And I remember thinking like, oh, no, I don't know if I should be in one of these things. Like, this is a bit strange. And then I was like, well, you might as well make the most of the opportunity. And it went really, really well and broke Kelly's British record. So, it was, amazing experience. Yeah.
When you say you didn't feel like you should be in one of those things, you just feel like you weren't known enough amongst the British public at that stage?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I hadn't won a medal or anything at that point. And I guess I'd sort of made my stamp the year before. I was 5th in the World Championships, but I didn't feel like I was one of the big names, and especially when Usain was in the car behind me, I was like, oh, okay. But I just thought, well, you know what, the crowd's amazing. I'm in good shape. My home track. Let's just go for it. And when I ran 2:57, I was just so shocked, and it was definitely going to be one of the highlights of my career forever.
That's really cool that you say that. And I mean, Usain Bolt was there. All the stars came out for London on that Friday night. What was the atmosphere like? Like, did it just feel like a completely different level of track meet?
Yeah, it's just, when I watched it back, like, it was just so full and so loud. And like, you could just hear it at various different points from the track. And it was, if I made this move, the volume went up. If I made another move, the volume went up. And like, the closer I got to the finish line, it just got louder and louder. And then when I crossed the line as well, there was like this big cheer, and it was just, it was just amazing just to have that sort of reception. And in such a big stadium, such an iconic stadium on home turf, and to break a British record on home turf you don't get that many opportunities to do it. So to have done it there in that kind of atmosphere was just great, yeah.
And also, the record previously belonged to Kelly Holmes, who was, very much a legend in British athletics circles. That must feel like, I don't know, that must have felt like an arrival to have replaced someone so iconic at the top of the British record list. Yeah,
I mean, all records are going to be hard to break, because they're a record for a reason. And but for it to be Kelly's, that was pretty special, because that was the record that she won in winning gold in Olympics too. So it was a really sort of iconic record, and one that stood for a long time. And so to break that on the home ground, it was very, very special. And I never thought I'd sort of had my name alongside the likes of Kelly, let alone at the top and being the fastest.
That season 2016, the win in London and the win in Paris secured the Diamond League when it was a slightly different format to what it is now. It's the straight final. Where does that rank in your achievements?
A big one, yeah, because I guess 2015 I was 5th at World Championships. Rio unfortunately didn't go to plan, and I was 7th, so I hadn't really won anything on the global stage before, let alone a medal. Actually, it wasn't until the following year that I won my medals indoors. So yeah, to have that Diamond League trophy and to be standing on the podium, it was crazy. This is so surreal. Weighed a ton as well. But I remember standing next to one of the shot put players, and he was holding it, being like, "Oh yes, it's really cool," and I was just like, "Ooh," trying to hold it. But it was amazing, and it was in Zurich at the time, so we had the whole fireworks display and stuff, and it was just an amazing experience to kind of have that. I guess it was nice to kind of have that feeling of winning, and it wasn't the big pressure of a championship. So I was like, "Oh, this is really cool," and that kind of pushed me on next year to be like, we want to win more of these races. And I think I was 2nd in Zurich at the time. It would be nice to have won it outright, but luckily I had enough points. But then I came back in 2018 and won it by winning the final. So that was nice. I kind of done it both ways. I won it by points and winning it with winning the race. So it's it's a lovely achievement to kind of summarize the whole season and show that you've been consistent throughout the season, which is really nice.
Do you have any sort of racing plans for this year?
Sort of. I unfortunately just saw this morning that I think a couple more Diamond Leagues have been cancelled, so that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, hopefully a few Diamond Leagues if they go ahead. I think some of them are going ahead, but they're just field events, so they're maybe not distance events. So and then there's a few more smaller competitions as well. So hopefully. Unfortunately, distance events I think are the most difficult ones for competitions to hold at the moment. So there's been not going to be as many distance races as we'd like, but yeah, honestly, anything will do. So we have a few things penciled in, but whether they go ahead, we'll just have to see. Yeah.
Has it been all right? Lockdown? Yeah,
no, it's been all right. Like just, I guess we're fortunate. We're runners, we can run. So we're not overly reliant on any facilities and things, so we can just get out and go for a run, which is nice.
Oh well, fingers crossed that you'll be able to get yourself in a race soon enough.
Yeah, I hope so.
Big thanks to Laura Muir for joining us on the show. Now we're going to go from the British record holder in the 1500 metres to the Norwegian record holder in the 400 metres hurdles. I think you can guess who. It's Karsten Warholm.
What a chance here for Warholm to really stamp his authority on this race. He likes to go out hard. He talked to us in Paris about the fact that he won't compromise on that. And once again, second from left of picture, there he is in the centre of the screen in the white vest. Warholm doing what he does best, going out hard, going out aggressively. And he's taken out two of the athletes to his right already. In the yellow headband, TJ Holmes also going well, as is Capello. Don't write off Capello. Karen Clement there being outshadowed at the moment by Capello. But Karsten Warholm, well clear here. The shackles are off. Perhaps the pressure's off as well, because Samba, who's dominated this event all year, 6 wins out of 6, and Warholm taking full advantage here. Let's keep an eye on the clock. Warholm has won it once again, 47.65. A wonderful performance from Warholm on the very same track where he took the world title just under 12 months ago, and that is a wonderful lifetime best. It's been coming all season, and you think that he's come out of the shadows there. He liked it. Samba has run the flat, and Warholm has taken full advantage. 47.65, a lifetime best there, and a meeting record for Karsten Warholm.
Valček of the Czech Republic, 81.57 in the first round of this javelin competition, and my goodness me, it's really boiling up. So, what sort of performance can he achieve? He's got a best of 86.76 this season. That's better. Oh, that's over 85. That's a very good jump indeed. We saw him in Oslo actually, and in Stockholm. He didn't do pretty well. He didn't manage to get beyond 80 metres or 78 metres in Stockholm, and only just beyond 80 metres in Oslo. But here he's done very well. And he was 9th in the European Championship, and that's another superb performance from Vadlec. And that puts him in the lead, 85.72. 5th round of the long jump, 6:71 so far. Oh, that's big. That's very big. Well, 6:71 in round 4, the 5th round, and there's just a slight backwind, and that looks like 7 meters. It could be 7 meters. Absolutely superb, Bartoletta. She really hit that board well, perfect in every way. 3 times Olympic champion at long jump, 4x100 meters, twice world long jump champion. She's a quickie too. 10:78 she's run in the 100 meters. She's an all-round sprint jumper. And on that occasion, 7 meters and 1 centimeter. Look at that. Well, Sandra Perkovic is the very best. 64.80 at the moment. This is her 3rd round throw. And she is a 70-meter thrower at best. Oh, she's unleashed that one. That's a huge throw. Oh, that's just short of 70. That is class. She's such a difficult athlete to beat. Come on, she says, celebrate with me. Fabulous piece of throwing by Sandra Perkovic of Croatia. The Olympic champion here 4 years ago, world champion in 2013, slipped up in Beijing last year, was 2nd place. How does she manage that? But look at the power, the sheer unadulterated power. Just manages to stay in. It was close to the edge, and she knows, the body language tells you that that is fabulous. That is fabulous. 69.94, a meeting record. Wow.
Well, who's going to go off quickest? Looks to me like Rabbi Youssef, extreme left, has gone off pretty quickly, and so has the athlete in lane 3, Obi Igbokwe. Only ranked 15th in the USA, the 22-year-old, although he's run 45.35 this year. All in the white strip. He's blasted down the back straight, and also going strongly out in lane 7 is Demish Gay of Jamaica. Tall figure of Demish Gay in the white vest to left of picture, coming round the bend. It's very tight between these 5, although as the stagger unwinds in the favour of Igbokwe in the lane 3. He led into the straight. Here though comes in lane 5 Akeem Bloomfield, and he's looking very strong indeed as he crosses the line there. Well, Bloomfield 44.40. That is quick. He's a massive fella, isn't he? Big, broad, powerful chest. And he looked very, very strong down the home straight there. Quicker than the rest of them off the final bend. He ran a really well-measured race from lane 5. He's a good 200-meter runner. He's run 19.81. That was in 2018. He's also a great carrier of the baton for Jamaica. And Bloomfield wins in 44.40. Jonathan Jones, well, after all that frustration of Monaco 9 days ago, he came here with a best of 44.64, and he won a personal best and a Barbadian national record. 44.63 in 2nd place by Jonathan Jones. Boy, oh boy, out in lane 8 with the headband to the left of picture. Doesn't he finish strongly, Chris?
Brilliant, wasn't it? Could have really folded after that mix-up in Monaco. Not his fault, of course, but yeah, terrific to see him respond and come back. But you could throw a blanket, couldn't you, over these 5 coming into the final, 90 metres or so. But Bloomfield just having the strength of character and the endurance to come through, looking really nice and upright, holding his line, holding his form right to the end.
4 Americans in this. Simbine 4, Hughes 5, Blake 6, Baker in 7. And looking at Baker, second and left, didn't get the best start. Brilliant start by Young over on the far side. He leads at the moment, but they're getting through now. Baker's going to get it. Baker by a head there, taking it. I think Zarnell Hughes might have been second. Very tight for 2nd place, but there was no doubting the winner. And the winning time, 9.90 again. Well, you couldn't make it up, could you? 9.90 in his heat, 9.90 in the final there. In still air, in effect. And Ronnie Baker lived up to what he promised from his heat, the quickest of all of them. He had to work for it though. Zarnell Hughes, 9.93 in 2nd place. And for Zarnell Hughes, that is, I think, his 2nd quickest time ever. Simbine, the Commonwealth champion, 9.94. That's a significant scalp for the Briton. He's only 23, Zarnell Hughes. He's got faster races to come. And Johan Blake, 9.95. 9.95, a season's best. He's gradually clawing his way back, isn't he, Johan Blake, with 4th place?
Well, he is, but Baker once again, what consistency, exactly the same time. And the rivalry I mentioned that's burgeoning between him and Christian Coleman, and you can throw Noah Lyles into the mix as well, is making the sort of post-Bolt era very, very interesting indeed. It's certainly keeping everyone's attention, that's for sure. Gatlin, of course, will be retiring soon. Bolt has already gone, but in Ronnie Baker and Christian Coleman, I think this event is in very safe hands.
Well, that was a lovely contest, wasn't it? Because while Ronnie Baker won it by 6 or 8 inches, he really had to work for it. Zarnell Hughes, a couple of lanes to his left, to the right of picture there as we saw that shot. 9.93 is really establishing himself now as a serious global competitor, hitting the low 9.9s on a regular basis. Simbine of South Africa likewise. It's lovely to see this talent coming from all over the planet. Xi of China in 8th place in 10.01, and there we are, sun's out, get your guns out. So Kiryu and Koike in 1 and 2 for Japan, Sisay in 3, Blake in 4, Simbine 5, De Grasse in 6 in the yellow and blue, Hughes in 7, Green in 8, Jamili in lane 9 to the left. Watched Hughes, 3rd from left. Not a bad start from Hughes, really good start there from Simbine in 4. He's going to take some catching. So now Hughes has got some work to do. I don't think he's going to get there, is he? No! Simbine takes it. Well, there's an upset. 9.93. Brilliant run from the South African. And that is a season's best if it's confirmed for Simbine. And the wind plus 0.5. And I thought Zarnell Hughes looked in unbeatable form in his heat. But Simbine won the other heat in 10.01. Clearly kept a little bit in hand. 9.93 to 9.95. Well, isn't it funny? Zarnell Hughes cantered to 9.96 earlier on. And here, 9.95, all he can manage, absolutely flat out. And he was coming back at Simbine. I reckon another 10 metres and he would have got there. But it was a 100-metre race, not 110. Blake, 9.97. There's still life in the old dog. That's only 100th outside his season's best. And Koike and De Grasse under 10 seconds as well.
The London Stadium is a very special one in athletics. It hosted, of course, the Olympics back in 2012 and inspired so many of the current generation of athletes to continue on their path. One such athlete is Akani Simbine, who last year, as we just saw, won a Diamond League meeting in London for the first time. He tells me how his dreams came true.
What do you think when you think about competing in London? What are your impressions of the British capital?
I think my smile gives it away. I love London. I love racing in London. I love going to London. For me, London has a special place in my heart because when I was home in 2012 and I was watching the Olympic Games, which were in London, I imagined myself running in that stadium, and I found myself, being a pro, and now I found myself in the stadium and running in the stadium where I was just watching on TV and be just amazed by the performances there. So it's always a great experience. It's always exciting for me to get the word from my agent that, okay, you're going to run in London. Like, yeah, I'm ready for that.
Well, let's talk about last year's race then, because you obviously got your win there. What do you remember of that? Because it was rounds and then it was a final. What are your memories of last year's competition?
I actually enjoy the rounds. Like, London is one of the meets on the circuit that have 2 rounds, and I enjoy that. And it's always like, since I've been racing in London, the weather's always been good. It's been warm, And for me, last year was really amazing. Our training was really going well when we were going into London, and I was feeling really good, and I was in a good space. And we got to London. I met up with one of my sponsors that were there, and they were there to support me. And I just thought, okay, these guys came out. Let me just also, do the best I can. And I just felt good going through the rounds. And when I was racing, I was just like, okay, you know what, this is actually my meet.
Actually, I can remember you walking out before the final, and you seemed incredibly relaxed. Did you feel relaxed?
Yeah, I was actually super relaxed. I was just like, I feel good. You know, I feel my body is right and it's ticking, and I can actually just go out there and just let me just put on a show. And I got onto the track and I just like looked around. I was like, okay, you know, this is the final. Let's just go run. And usually I'm just so tense, you know. But then for that race, I was just like, okay, you know, it's okay. We can do this.
You found your zone.
Yeah, I found my relaxed zone and I got the job done.
When I watched the race again this morning, it seemed like you had a really good start. And when you're lining up against someone like Zarnell Hughes, and I think Johan Blake was in the next lane from you, do you feel pressure to get away quickly?
Yeah, I think, you know, with the 100 meters, it's like you have to make sure you get away from everyone as quick as you can and make sure you hold it until the line. And I knew Johan had a good start. I knew Zarnell also, if he gets his start right, he could be dangerous. And I know with Andre comes back at the end. So I said to myself, you know what, just make sure you get up quick and make sure you finish strong, because then you've covered the race and you know you've covered the fast starters and you've covered the guys that end up fast. So that was my tactic going into that race, and I think I executed it pretty well.
And you talk about watching the Olympics in 2012 to get a win in the London Stadium, in the Olympic Stadium. Just tell me, like, now you reflect on it, what does it mean to you?
For me, it's like I've won a race in the Olympic Stadium. I've won a race in a stadium where I saw Usain Bolt run and win. I saw Johan Blake do amazing. I saw so many stars come out of there, and to be able to step onto that track and win, for me, it puts me and my confidence in a different level and my self-belief at a different level. And it just excites me, you know, and like I was hoping to run there this year again and just keep on, like, every year being able to go to London and run there and pick up wins there.
Also, I think it was your fastest race of the season as well. How much do you think of your personal best, your national record?
I always want to improve. I always want to be faster. I always want to be the fastest man on the track. I always want to be the fastest man in the world. I wouldn't be trying to be a sprinter if I didn't want to be the fastest, you know? And, you know, my national record is something that I want to, you know, run faster than, something that I want to keep taking down. You know, there's the African record that's so close to my national record, and that's something that I also look towards, you know. And, you know, I want to make sure that by the time I leave the sport, I have conquered the African record. I've conquered, you know, South African record, and I've, you know, been on the stage and I've literally put my name down as one of the fastest men in the world.
And how's training been? Have you been able to basically train uninterrupted? Have you had access to a track and a gym?
I wish. I haven't seen the track since March.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't seen the track since March. So we're just finding fields to train on. I found a golf course to train on with coach. I'm pretty fortunate that I have a gym at my house, so I can gym at home and use equipment at home. But it's just, you know, being on the track. I'm a sprinter. I need to be on the track. It's something that I'm missing. You know, I miss being on the track. I miss, you know, training on the track and racing as well. And I'm looking forward to the time when they can say, okay, you know what, you guys can get back into the track and do what you need to do and just work on your craft.
Massive thanks to Akani for joining us on the show. He's just one of the many South Africans who've lit up the Wanda Diamond League circuit in recent years. Thank you too to Laura Muir and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce for taking the time earlier on. And thank you too to you for watching this London special edition of the Wanda Diamond League call room. I hope you can join us next time, but that leaves me to just say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and of course, stay safe.